Let's take a look at the 2012 Nissan Leaf from a real-world, actual user's viewpoint. Bob's
and Karen's. We became interested in an electric vehicle because I commute into town 10 miles one way, so that's a 20-mile round trip. We live in a fairly small town that you can go from one side of town to the other within about 15 miles, and gas prices are going up.
I got interested in the possibility of getting an electric car, and maybe a Leaf, because I'm an early adopter. I like cutting-edge technologies, but I do my research, and I'm not going to get something that's not going to provide good service and value. We bought a 2012 Nissan Leaf SL 2 months ago, and we really put it through its paces. So let's take a look at it from both of our perspectives.
Although I initially had some reservations about buying an electric car over a gas car, I have to say, once I got in the car and felt how comfortable it is and how normal feeling it is, I really liked how quiet it was and how comfortable it was, and I was sold.
For me, I want a really high-tech vehicle that's got some spunk and power, it looks a little strange and interesting, which this car does, has a lot of the electronics going on, which this car does, and this car is so darn quiet. It's just strange. If you hit a new patch of road, your body's so used to feeling that vibration that its absence is sort of odd the first few times out. You have to remember that this is not a video game. You are in a moving vehicle, and I think you could buy a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. It would not be this smooth and this quiet. There's the car booting up, as we call it. And I'm going to just tell you what these things are very quickly. Here's the battery temperature on the left in bars. It was about 6 bars in the middle of the summer, 95 to 105 degrees. Now it's 5 bars when it's about 75 out. The right-hand side is the guessometer, as we call it, the 73 there. We don't have a full charge. And that's the amount of miles it thinks you have left. The larger bars, the blue and the white there, are the amount the battery's actually charged, and each one of those bars gives you about 7 miles range. And the bar to the right of it that's going a little bit higher is the actual battery capacity, what the battery is capable of being charged to, because over time, with several years, you could lose a little bit of capacity at the top, like all batteries do. And on the very top, across the top, you've got a sort of white out in the center, and that's the sort of neutral position, or when you don't have your foot on the gas pedal, or the go pedal, let's call it. As soon as you start to accelerate, more dots get filled to the right, showing you that you're using more power. When you take your foot off and you're coasting to a stop, those dots will go to the left and show you that you're regenerating power and putting it into the batteries. And on the bottom here, we have several different displays we can go through by pushing a button here: average speed, driving distance, the clock settings, and a lot of stuff that you can set up, make the different boot up sounds, different boot up songs, and all that stuff. And it'll tell you how long it's going to take to charge to 100% from where you are, either on the 220 or the 240 or the 110 supplied charger. And this one is what I leave it on here. This is the economy that you're getting during the course of the driving. You can reset it like a trip odometer. It'll tell you how many miles you're getting per kilowatt. So the higher the score in there, the better, and anything at 5 or over is really exceptional. So you can see how many miles you've traveled. I zero out the trip odometer and the average thing every time I get in with a fresh charge. And there's a couple other things. The green card just tells you that you are ready to go, and the parking brake is still on. Taking a look over to the right here, the first thing you see on the big screen is that it wants you to tell it it's okay to send the data up to Nissan for your CarWing system, it's called. It goes right to the GPS, and this is the night view of the GPS. Well, not a very good thing today, and there you go, you can sort of see it. It's nice, it automatically does that when it gets dark out. It has light sensors. Look, it says connecting to the center up there, and it's connecting to the information center and downloading our RSS feeds for the day. Can you believe that? Wow, very interesting. So anyway, it's got a lot of stuff. I won't show you all of it, but you're going to see a lot of different screens over here and menus, things like that, settings, information, your CarWings here. Go over to the favorites. Look at this. I've got all these RSS feeds set up, and it will read the text of an RSS feed to you in the synthetic computer woman's voice. So that's pretty keen. Got your XM radio over here.
She worked on it, so we could see a 4-to-4.
and your AM, FM, and your CD. Plus, what's really keen on the CD is I can go between the disc, Bluetooth audio, where it connects to my iTouch and our iPhone, things like that. It's got your auxiliary in, just a regular standard 1/8" Walkman style plug for plugging in MPEG-3 players, and it has the USB, which you can just plug in your little USB flash drive down there, put a ton of music on it, and it will read you out the titles and everything else. Pretty good, huh? That's great. Your 1/8" connectors below that one over there. And you got your seat warmers down here, like I mentioned. Here's high and low, and there's one for both seats over there, including one for the back seats. So normally the screen I go to is I hit the bottom and go to energy, because I like to see the actual energy use in kilowatt hours, or in kilowatts when I'm pushing the gas pedal on the left, my climate control usage, and other systems like computer systems and such on the bottom right, and my estimated time miles left. And it can tell you on the top right, if I was to turn on the climate control system, I'd lose 9 miles of range right now. Now that means if I left it on the entire time I was driving the rest of the charge. And in most cases, you kick on, say, the defroster for a while, clear off the windows, turn it off. You used it for a while, or like I said, in air conditioning especially, set it up near 78 degrees. It'll still blow cold on you and just feel great, but it uses less power, and you can see it reduces your range less. Other controls are just pretty much standard. You don't need any lessons on those. And up top here you've got this little display up here, and it's just sort of in a non-distracting fashion showing you the miles per hour, your time, and the outside temperature. And on the left is a little thing here that starts growing sort of Christmas tree shaped things, and sort of a video game showing you how efficient you're being. On the steering yoke over here, steering wheel, you can change the source of the audio between the different sources, volume. You can turn on the voice recognition and tell it which GPS waypoints and stuff you want to go to. You get your telephone Bluetooth initiate from here. Your cruise controls on this side. What's really cool, you press this top button up here, and it shows you a map of where the charging stations are and how far you can go on the current charge. So I can see I got a bunch of charging stations. I got a couple near me over there, and then I got a couple up the interstate over there. So there's about 6 all piled on top of each other on the right-hand side, and it'll keep you abreast of that. And it will not let you go with the GPS to someplace you don't have enough charge to go to. It will warn you of that. There's a shot of the camera. What I want to show you is these keen little buttons across the bottom over here, so we can get in close. This is really neat. These things can memorize your remote controls, and more than one. You can put a couple of different ones on there, and it's really keen because you just sort of press and hold down the button, and you press your remote, and it will memorize them and allow you to do more than just open the garage door. Your standard lighting system above here, which has become common now, and your sunglass holder over here with emergency munchies money. There you go. What I found to be really interesting and sort of surprising is when you look at the motor compartment on the Leaf, it looks surprisingly like a 4-cylinder engine, doesn't it? Isn't that the overhead cam cover? No, it is not. That's the electric motor. And there's fluids in the same positions you expect to find them. There's the brake fluid and the washer fluid and the radiator fluid. What could that be? Indeed, the electronics require a radiator to cool them off. There's a radiator reservoir over there. And there's the 12-volt battery. Wow, just sort of like a regular 12-volt battery. So Nissan designed this so it sort of looks like pretty much normal, and you know where everything is. Here's a little closer look under the charging bonnet over here that we released. There are 2 outlets in the SL. Here's the 110 outlet over here and 220 outlet. Both of them go into the same thing with the same type of connector. And here is the public fast charging connector on the left. And it's quite a bit larger. And these have numerical designations, which are unimportant to us. Check it out. No tailpipe, Mom. And the underside of the car is completely covered for lower wind resistance.
As you can see, the back seats fold down. So if you're needing to haul something long, you have an 8-foot shot or thereabouts from the back to the front console that you can carry something like a flagpole or whatever. And this lifts out to make more room if you have something that requires more height. Back here, You can carry lots of groceries, boxes, whatever, and this liner lifts out so that you can clean it separately, a feature I find really nice. It's a lot easier than trying to clean the trunk bed inside the car. The reason this bump is here is because that's where the battery chargers are stored, so it has to be there.
Unlike our other car, the cup holders over here are really wide and big for larger drinks. And to protect the front seats, we put a set of very inexpensive seat covers on. They make really, really nice ones that are custom fitted that you can get to cover the front seats from being stained. Okay.
The glove compartment looks larger than it actually is. You can get the manual and a couple of maps and that kind of thing in here, but it actually is a fairly small space.
Up top on the back in the SL is a little solar panel which keeps the 12-volt battery system topped off. In the back of it you'll see the combination AM, FM, XM satellite, GPS antenna structure. The top thing actually unscrews if you need to.
I personally just love the headlights. They look really pretty when they're on at night. They're a combination of LED, halogen, and conventional lamps. And they have this shape that swoops the air up this way and cuts down on road noise. People are creatures of habit, after all, so we tend to go to the same places over and over and over again. In a normal week, we might hit the grocery store, the bank, the gym, so on and so forth. So you know, before you go, where you're going to go, you know how far away they are from your house, and so you can add that up in your head, and generally, in fact 95% of the time, that's within 50 miles, and that's easily covered by the Leaf's range.
So one of the considerations in the Leaf is the climate control system does reduce your range. That's the air conditioning and the heating system. Now, air conditioning reduces it about 10%. And if I set the temperature up on the air conditioner more like 76 or 78, it's still blowing cold air and the range is reduced less than 10%. Now, on the heating, that's a whole different thing because it's a resistive heater. It's just like a toaster. So it draws a lot of current, and that could reduce your range significantly. We haven't run it in the winter yet, but they're saying something to the max about 30%. So what they've done in this car and in all models after this is to have seat heaters and steering wheel heater. And I did use that last night. It was about 44 out, and I turned that seat heater on. It did not reduce the range at all. It didn't show any current consumption. And it was nice. It was like the bum warmer, and I had no problem at all. I had a sweater on, no problem whatsoever. I just made sure there wasn't air coming through the ventilator, passing through the car. And the steering wheel, right where you gripped it, was all toasty warm. So that technology does work in the winter unless you're, in a 10-degree kind of place. We're going to go for a little ride. How about it, Karen?
Let's go. It's really easy to start. You first press the button here, the startup button. Then release the brake. And we're ready. Let's take off.
Notice the handy-dandy reverse camera. That thing rocks. I'll tell you, I've gotten used to it. Couldn't do without it.
I'm not as used to it.
So, pulling out onto the main road over here. Acceleration swell. And it is really quiet in this car, I'll tell you. You can hear a slight bit of motor whine. Slightest bit. Of course, the car does make its own noise through a speaker when you're at under 19 miles an hour, but you really barely can hear that inside of the cabin. So real nice performance on the road. If you leave it in drive mode rather than eco, it really has quite a bit of pickup. And you can have a penalty if you want to punch that thing down and really take off. You will see your remaining miles go down. But the GESO meter, as we call it, the remaining miles meter, sort of is, just a rough guideline. Really, you look at the battery charge with the bars on the side, and that gives you a better indication of how much mileage you actually have left. It's got an electronic turn signal sound.
I like it. It sounds like a bird chirping.
So the process when we pull a car into the garage is as follows. First, Karen's going to open the charging hatchway. You can hear it pop. And we've got our little 110 charger that came with the car, just sort of sitting on a couple of little pins on the wall here so it holds it up. So you can just plug it in. You see the lights come on. You know it's alive. And then Karen will take the charging handle, take the protective cover off it, come around front, and she's just going to plug it in. You'll hear the car make a few little sounds like that, and if you were wanting to charge it right away, you could go in and press the middle button over here, and it would charge right away. If you do not do that, then it will be on the timer. And you can tell when you first plug it in that it's going to be on the timer because you see these three things flashing in the front. These are the state of charge meter. If you were to glance out into the garage to see how the car's doing, we've got three of them, sort of 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and that will tell you how much charged it is at a quick glance. But like I said, if you don't press that immediate charge button, it's going to go onto the timer mode that you set on the computer in there. And I have it set for midnight to when we get up, and that tops it off. We find that we don't even need the 220 charger because we generally don't run the batteries out, and we just can top it off overnight with the supplied charger. So in the morning, Karen just comes out, unplugs the vehicle, closes the cap, little weather guard cap, push down the cover, locks, and the little plug itself has a weather guard cap on it too. Pop that over there, and she unplugs the charger module, and that's it. I mean, really, it's super quick. So, right next to the Leaf over here, you see a stack of these beautiful purple things. You know what they are. These are 235 watt solar panels, and there is 9 of them over here. We're going to pop them up on the roof, and we're going to backfeed about 250 kilowatt hours a month into the electrical grid and cover our usage of the Nissan Leaf. So for about $2,500 in parts after the federal rebate, you can pretty much make the juice for the Leaf. Well, as you can tell, we do like the Leaf, and it did fit the bill as we thought it would, and it has conformed to our research that we did before we bought it.
For us, it worked out exactly as planned. A great in-town car. We have yet, in 3,000 miles, to run it all the way down to 0, and a lot of that range anxiety that they speak of is starting to evaporate. It's as automatic when you come in to plug it in, just like you would your cell phone.
And what's really nice is it's taking a lot of miles off of our other car, the Prius, where we were doing the out-of-town trips and all the in-town trips on it. This thing's taking care of all the in-town trips, and I was a little concerned of whether we could do 10,000, 12,000 miles in town on a vehicle like this. We are absolutely doing that.
Trust me, you can.
You can, and I'm seeing that every month we have it, we're going more miles. So in every bit we drive this car and not the gas car, we're saving bucks. And it's such a delight that we do fight over who's going to get to drive EV today. I've been very nice and let Karen drive it most of the time. Aww. So there you go. Do your homework. Maybe it'll fit the bill for you. But the car itself, excellent device.